innings and into the second one where the USA are going to have to go and bat. They chose to bowl first, seeing the grass on the surface, but if those spots continue to pop up, there's real cause for concern for the batters.
It's probably a sign that that delivery maybe pays off as we go through the innings. You think particularly Van Schalkwyk will be somebody who will try to do that. You wonder, will Jesse Singh have seen that as well? As all of a sudden a wicket brings about a change. Another one that beats the outside edge. No slip in place though, maybe surprisingly.
But that's the length Jesse Singh is going to want to attack. And again, you can talk about the wicket almost rejuvenating this USA side. They're a side that tends to ride the highs, and sometimes they can get buried in the lows. And so that wicket will bring them just that bit of momentum. And for Jesse Singh, the key thing in this over is if he can be 5 balls on that spot. If he can be there, he's going to be good. But if he starts to waver, it's going to be runs.
Amazing what a wicket does, isn't it? All of a sudden America up and about, and a few balls starting to nibble about as well. Yeah, Scotland in general you would make as favourites today, despite USA being on home soil, and that's as much because of the 11 that USA have available to them and that they've put out. Just a reminder, if you're only just joining us now, no Andries House, no Milind Kumar. The word at the toss from Mayank Patel was that Milind and House not fit for the game, not available. We had heard a couple of whispers of Kumar not being at complete fitness, so not sure what's wrong there. And no Andries House today, which is a big surprise. And then also no Aaron Jones, because he's not in the squad. He wasn't picked the USA vice captains. He was in the T20s. Didn't have the greatest time of things there, but missed out on the ODI tour of Namibia because of that CPL commitments, and not back in yet. As that's worked away, but straight to the man. Tier will feel as though he's missed out there. That should have been put away.
Should have, and Jesse Singh gets away with it. And again, it's just funny how that wicket brings the momentum and things seem to start to go your way. For Jesse Singh, you can see the scorecard here. 4 dot balls, great stuff. But if you're an American fan watching, you're not real pleased with the over. You've seen maybe 1 or 2 deliveries where they should be. And now you can see it angling down the leg side. This one got well too full. I think for Jesse Singh, as he continues to build his ODI stature, he's got to find way more consistency to be real effective to Tier. Like that again, just got away with back of a length and wide, really not a threatening delivery. Charlie Tier just missed out completely.
Good over this from Jesse Singh. 5 dots, pressure building. And then a bit of width on offer, but the protection is out there, so just be a single. Sanjay Krishnamurthy does the work. 1 run from the 6th over. 28 for none, 28 for 1 even.
Operating to Tier. We saw him start to take pace off towards the back end of that 4th over. Is that trend going to continue? Use of the feet from Tier, but well fielded again. You can just see how that wicket almost brought the USA back to life, and something that we talked about, Lenny, that they were missing in that first match against Scotland was just that bit of life, that urgency in the field. And it's just how funny early wickets just help a side that is just a touch on the wrong side of form at the moment, coming off those 3 T20s where they were clean swept at home by Nepal. But Saurabh Netravalkar, again, while he hasn't had the rewards over the past 2 weeks that he's wanted, you can see him bowling much better today. And I thought even the USA's last match that he was starting to find a little bit of that rhythm that has made him so good. You see him on a length, he's angling it away. The odd one who'll roll the fingers over. Curious to see if he tries to bring one back into Charlie Tier. Just trying to test that inside edge. Quick single scampered through there. And then for Scotland on this point here is going to be about not allowing that second wicket to fall. Tiers started to put in the hard work, but again, it's what happened against Nepal 2 days ago. You get in, you start to see a batter start to turn things on, and as soon as that happened, you lost the wicket right away.
Yeah, and you just wonder, is today going to be a Brandon McMullen day? He's such a good player. One of the tricky things for Scotland on this tour has been, you think about it, they weren't involved in the T20s. The T20s were only between USA and Nepal, and I know that's a different format. It's a one-handed stroke for 4. Always think there's a shade of Kevin Peterson about Brandon McMullen. He's an extravagant and hugely talented player. He's that good. He can hit a boundary with just maybe 1 or 2 bounces to the rope with just one hand.
Well, not in complete control this one. He's looking to drive on the up, and I think the real key for him is that he's moved all the way across his stumps. He's taken out the fact of an LBW because he's put the front foot well outside the off stump, so he's given himself the license to free the arms, especially with the width Netravalkar was providing, trying to angle it back in. That sign of early aggression has almost prompted Netravalkar to go back to being over the stumps, so a little bit of mind games here from McCullum. It's actually good counterbalance. A lot of individuals, when Netravalkar does elect to come around the wicket, will then almost just try to stay at the stumps and just fend the ball away, versus McMullen using his feet, being active. Monik Patel now up to keep McMullen in his crease. Pulled the length back that time, Netravalkar. But yeah, you mentioned a McMullen day. Is it going to be that kind of a day? He averages just a hair under 41 in this format. He's very, very good. Has all the shots in the book. Can get going rather quickly if he wants to. T20 cricket in particular, the format that they missed out on this tour, has a strike rate up towards 150. So he's got all the shots in the book. It's just about sticking in. End of over number 7. It's 33 for 1. Jesse Singh to continue. Just gave up the 1 run in his previous over. Given width early was Tier, but still that sweep recover out on the ring. Again, Jesse Singh, statistically probably his best day with the ball. You reckon he's probably still not at his best. He's kind of sprayed it around, given the width. Yes, the license to do so with that fielder in the deep, but not at... You can just see there's something not completely in check with Jesse Singh.
A big change in the field for McMullen as the cover sweeper comes in, as does the deep square leg come in. The man goes out at sort of a deep backward fine leg, and deep third drops back as well. So interesting difference in the fields for the 2 batters.
I think that's better from Jesse Singh and angling it back in, and being on a length. And yeah, like you mentioned, Lenny, that field very, very different. That cover sweeper back inside the ring. So for Jesse Singh, again, the challenge is he's got to operate much straighter than what he's done in his previous overs. And do you start to see some of that pace starting to come back? That one rising on to McMullen. Again, a real key here for the USA is Jesse Singh. With no Ali Khan in this format, a lot of pressure relies on this man.
He hits the pad. You can see why they're appealing. Probably just a bit too much going on. It's jagged back in. There's a bit of height issues. He's a long way forward. I think on the balance, the right decision, even though leg by is signaled.
Yeah, again, he's come across his stumps, and it's just angled in well high. Good decision there from Vijay Mallela. Again, better over this from Jesse Singh. Yes, it's already gone for more runs than his previous one, but you like what you're seeing in this over from Jesse. Outside the off stump, angled and attacking the stumps much straighter, much more attacking. We've talked about it on a couple occasions. There's no Ali Khan in the team. Yes, a lot of pressure on Jesse Singh, but you're almost wondering from the USA perspective, where do those wickets with the pace bowling come in? Shadi Van Skalkvik hasn't been at his very best. Jesse Singh hasn't been at his very best, and so a lot of pressure on Sormnath Thavalkar to take those early wickets.
Nicely bowled, playing a miss from Charlie Tier. Yeah, certainly you would imagine, Aman, that there is a strong argument that these first 15 overs will dictate a lot of the contest. The first sort of 7 or 8 from each end with the 2 new balls. Didn't find much early, but they've just found a bit of nibble here, haven't they, in the last 2 or 3 with Netravalkar's wicket. And Jesse Singh bowling much better in his 3rd and 4th overs. The flowing drive from Tier gets us to the end of the 8th. It is 36 for 1. Shadi Van Skalkvik into the attack. Keeper up to the stumps immediately. Manak Patel. Is that an indication we might see some cutters, or was he just overly happy, Manak Patel, with the batters, probably particularly McMullen, batting outside their crease?
Yeah, I think it's more a response to McMullen coming out of his crease and attacking, especially with Shadi Van Skalkvik's lack of pace, maybe not the pace of Jesse Singh. And you know he likes to throw in a cutter here or there, so I think it's a good mix all around, but I think it's more in response to McMullen's attacking intent already.
Which, just to finish that point on the fact that Scotland weren't here for the T20s, and it makes these tours, I guess, all the more cutthroat, doesn't it? Because you've only got 4 opportunities. And when you win your first game by 10 wickets, obviously that's a great result. You take that result every day of the week and twice on a Sunday if you could. If you're Scotland, it means that nobody from number 3 to 11 got a bat. I know they had the one warm-up game, and that was a good warm-up game. I know they lost the warm-up game, but 340 played 340, chased down. That's the exact kind of workout you want in a warm-up. But if there's a triangular series before or after with the T20s, you get 8 games in total. If it's just the ODI series, it's only 4. And then you strip that down to 3 with a 10-wicket win for numbers 3 through 11. And I'm not saying McMullen's in bad form. I'm not saying he's in good form. It's neither. It's just that it's only 3 innings on the tour, and then, you know, their last cricket was that Scotland's versus Australia series in the Grange. As good running gets them back for a couple. So it's a case, I suppose, of you've got to take your opportunity then when it comes.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about 3 through 11 not getting a lot of opportunities in the middle, it's just the pressure in which they would have to come in to the middle later on the series. We saw it in the Nepal match 2 days ago, where everyone got into the game and they were almost trying to set themselves up, but hadn't had to deal with that match pressure yet. Yeah, I think the practice game got in, but very different stakes, right? Nothing's to lose during a practice and a warm-up match versus you come in now facing Nepal, facing Sampul Kami and Sandit Lamashane, Karan KC in a high-pressure situation where you know you need X amount of runs, you need to really up the scoring rate. You're just not in the exact flow because you haven't faced that kind of pressure. So, yes, a 10-wicket win early is great. You get that run rate advantage, but there's a little bit to be said on that longer series about getting the rest of your side under pressure and feeling it.
Beats the outside edge. Good start from Van Schalkwyk. He goes for 5. It's 41 for 1. Yeah, if you think back to that scorecard against Nepal, Charlie Tier got a great nut first up. He was dismissed for a duck. But then numbers 2 through 7, forget about Mark Watt's good effort at number 8. 14, 16, 19, 19, 15, 14. For a side as experienced as Scotland, well, that's going to be so frustrating for Doug Watson, the head coach, isn't it? Because all of those batters have faced at least 17 deliveries. All of them have got in. Berrington faced 45. And nobody's got more than 19. Quite a remarkable stat.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're consuming balls to give yourself an opportunity later on in the match to really pick it up. And when you consume those deliveries, we talk about with Aaron Jones quite a bit, you get a start, but you don't convert it. You've now wasted really part of the innings because now someone else has to come in and try to get set. And that was just basically the story of the game. No one gets set and got going. It was just you kind of wasting the innings.
Here's Nosh Kenjigate, who you would think, looking at his figures the other day, bowled really well, but it probably wasn't the greatest reflection on his spell because he got a wicket with a full toss. He got a wicket thanks to an exceptional catch from Shadi Van Schalkwyk at extra cover. 4 for 52. Figures look great, but I don't think it was his best set of 10 overs, actually, to be honest with you. And he was wicketless in the ODI before that, and indeed the last T20I. 33 years of age now. Man born in Alabama. For me, I'm a big fan of Kenji Gaze, but I'm not sure he's quite had the perfect rhythm, has he, with his bowling throughout this series?
Yeah, he hasn't been... I think it's just an adjustment back into ODI cricket, especially with the amount of T20 cricket he's played leading into it with the minor league, with the World Cup, and the way he's almost transformed his game. I think he's almost had to strip away all the extra deliveries he's developed and try to get back to basics, where he's just... I think the one thing that we know about Nosh is that he can be so accurate and just wind away at one line in length, versus that's something that we've seen missing from his game, where he almost is too eager to change what he's bowling, rather than in an ODI fashion, you have so much time, you can just wheel away and then let the batters try to create something different.
Yeah, there's nothing in particular I'm seeing within his action or or anything that's changed. He just doesn't look in perfect rhythm. And it can be the smallest thing. It can be a exactly where you'd like it. And for me, you think about how good he's been in Major League Cricket. Also been picked up, hasn't he? I think it was the ILT 20 he travelled out to. Such as his performance has been. Wonderful fielder, often a backward point. Handy batter down the order, but just something not 100% right for me with his bowling. That is an authoritative stroke of the highest quality. Just had a sneaky suspicion it might be Brandon McMullen's day. There's a few ominous signs here for USA. The shot of the morning thus far.
And he's looking to be positive. This has not come off the fact that he's created anything. He's just taken advantage of a loose delivery. It's shades of what we saw from Andy Omid in match number 1, where when he got the width, he took advantage of it. Van Schalkwyk was operating on a length close to the body in his first over, and this time just got one errand.
Makes batting look easy, doesn't he, Brandon McMullen? There's a swagger to him. This is the one that beat the outside edge of Andrew Mead earlier. The reason we're showing you that, you might have heard just down on our pitch effects mic, Jesse Singh talk. I think he's talking down there to Janoy Drysdale, one of the substitutes for USA. He's saying, I was trying to hit the deck early. It feels like that kind of a pitch. And when he did that, he had a little bit of reward. Is Van Schalkwyk trying to do the same thing?
Yeah, I think something similar in the mind. Again, and you can see it from his very first over. Even with the keeper up the stumps, typically you see bowlers maybe try to be a little bit fuller, so it's just right into the keeper's gloves. But he's been on a length back of it, right into the body line. And I think that's the area the USA are going to want to continue to attack, because there is that little bit of movement. But on that length, it's very hard to get your hands straight down through the ball.
Yeah, there's signs for me that the ball's coming on nicely, but you wonder, is Jesse Singh right there? Is it the kind of wicket that where if you can just kind of bang it into the surface, it might be a little bit more difficult to play? If you bowled a fuller length, tried to find swing, which I'm not sure why. There hasn't been any, has there, for the USA bowlers? It's been a bit nibbling off the surface. Might just be able to hear Singh again talk to Janoy Drysdale down there at deep third. He said he's trying to get it to shape away, but there's not much in it. Always fascinating, isn't it, to hear what the players are thinking. That fuller length, I don't think, is the right one. This time it brings about a play and miss, but that is where it's going to be a run-scoring opportunity too for Scotland.
And that's why you're seeing McMullen take those opportunities. I think on a normal day, wouldn't have really tried to play that real expansive drive away from the body, but McMullen's kind of read the situation that anything full is coming onto the bat nicely, where I don't think there's any demons in the wicket, but off a length, you can just see the ball tend to hold its line or maybe just nip away. And not big swing. There's not that kind of overcast condition we had 2 days ago. It's clear sunshine, a good wicket. There's runs to be had when the ball's not on the right length.
Good fight back from Van Schalkwyk in that over after the flowing boundary from McMullen to start things. End of the 11th over. Score. Today, I think that's the order we'll see it in. Michael Jones in this new role at number 5.
Yeah, and again, it'll be really interesting because of the fact that, as you know, Jones typically comes up the order, but he's very free-flowing. I think the big question is going to be Matthew Cross. He hasn't been in the greatest of touch. He's someone who's looking to get back into real flow, and he's going to be real key for this side to really find their way, especially if they start to lose wickets here in the middle.
I think there's been a few signs that he's coming kind of back to his best. That's been throughout the summer. You think about the series in Dundee that they hosted. That was against Oman and Namibia. Then the glamour fixtures against Australia. He was also out at that, I can't remember the exact name of it, but the Cayman Islands T10. Problem was there, he didn't really bat much. In fact, I think he barely batted, might have batted twice in the whole comp. But his glove work is always good. He's an asset. I'm not saying he's got big scores, but there's just some signs within even that 15 the other day that his kind of fluency is coming back. All of a sudden, some pressure building up. Scotland finding the fielders here.
Yeah, and this is what we've talked about from Nash Kenjige, where you can see he's just much more consistent outside the off stump, and then it's just around that length where you can kind of come forward, come back, and just get a run off that. And that's the ball that I think Nash Kenjige's got to get away from, especially this early in the innings. Yes, you want to flight one up, you're looking to be aggressive, take wickets, that's great. But the pressure's building. There's no need to try to gift one to the opposition or try to force one. That's the T20 side of things. You have so much more time. He can just continue to wheel away, and I think that's where he'll continue to find his rhythm.
Better from Kenjige. Just love to maybe see a fraction more flight, a fraction more kind of temptation for McMullen. A little bit like that. McMullen takes it on, doesn't get all of it, but will pick up a couple. Good running from Charlie Tier. It splits the two fielders at long off and long on. Gets us to the end of the 12th over. 50 has come up. Prairie Stadium here in Texas. We're about 20 minutes east of Dallas, not far from Arlington, where the Cowboys Stadium is. The Texas Rangers 1-2. But we're here at this fantastic venue. Just heard Jesse Singh say on the stump mic or our effects mic, it's a very good ground, but it's very hard for bowlers. He's probably right when the surfaces are as good as we've seen them. That's the points table so far in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2 table. We're playing out on the pathway to the 2027 50 over. The ODI World Cup will be held down in South Africa, Zimbabwe and Namibia. It's amazing the number of times, Aman, we broadcast these events and people will always still